Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 coming to you with another segment. So I want to go ahead and get right into it. And this segment is about the atrocious hit that Shedeur took on in the 37-21 loss to Kansas. And it's been in my mind all week. I just finally had a chance to speak about it. It's been the talk of some sports shows, etc. Everybody saw it. First of all, I want to say this. I'm going to use some video from Fox Sports, and this is to be used for teaching purposes only. I don't want to get flagged and all that good old stuff. I'm still learning all this stuff, but I wanted to make sure that was known. And I'm gonna have video playing while we're talking about this, but we're talking about that hit, that number 45 Dean Miller, who only had 3 tackles and he had one assisted sack. He's a 6'5", 330-pound junior defensive end, and it's important. I want you to know how big he is because of what he was trying to do. But we also saw the atrocious hit that he put on Shedeur, and it was 5 things that bothered me about that hit, besides the normal things that that you just see that the naked eye would see. And I want to go ahead and get right into it. Don't want to take too much of your time. The first one was the hit itself. This hit itself could have absolutely ended his Colorado career. Talking about Shedeur, they still have a regular season game that's very important, and they still have a bowl game that's very important. And they still have an outside chance at the CFL, college football playoffs, to get into that. And I know everybody gets injured. It's a difference between getting injured within the play and getting injured on purpose, especially in football, because you can really hurt somebody in football. And so this also not only could it have ended his CU career, it could have also ended his NFL career. That's how atrocious I thought the hit was. It could have changed his draft stock. It could have cost him millions of dollars because we know the deeper you go into the draft, the less money you're going to make or guaranteed money that you're going to get. Um, it could have taken out his shin. It could have taken out his fibula. It could have taken out his ankle, the ligaments, the MCL, the CL, which is the collateral ligament, the ACL, the LCL, and the PCL. There's a lot of things that could have happened from that hit. They're saying what saved him is his foot wasn't planted. The point is, Dean Miller didn't care if his foot was planted or not. Dean Miller went to hurt him and put him out, and that would have cost him a lot. The second thing that bothered me was Dean Miller, number 45, his evil intentions. I always look at sport as like a fraternity. You have to look at it like we're all here to put on a show. We're here to compete at a high level. We're here to represent our schools and our institutions and ourselves, but we're not here to end each other's careers, not on purpose. We're not here to kill each other's or damage each other's future of the guys who may go on to play in the NFL and even your college career, because this is going to be the furthest that most of them can go, of course. Yes, we hit, hit hard. It is football, but you want to play football within the confines of the game. The evil intention should not have any place in the game when it's done outside of the rules. This is why I'm glad that the hip tackle was taken out of the game. I used to, even years ago before they made it a rule, I hated the hip tackle. I look at sports differently than a lot of people, I think. A lot of people be like, "Oh, knock his head off," and this and that. I always thought, even the free safeties, if a person is diving for the ball, and this is before the rules change, and they're diving for the ball, and it's just their head exposed, why would you want to go helmet to helmet on that guy? That's not a sport at at that point. That's an assault to me. That's just trying to hurt a person and take them out of the game, and in some cases, possibly paralyze them. So I look at sports like that. Again, it's a fraternity. Everybody's there. The TVs and the crowds, they're there for a show, and you can't forget that. So, being that you're on a football team, or even though it's the opposing football team, you're still all in the game together. So that's the second thing that bothered me. Number three was the refs, of course, for them to allow these type of penalties to happen and to not call them or do anything about them is very dangerous, and it's dangerous for the game. And I can flip it to basketball. The referees, if they see that players are a little feisty with each other, talking a little too much or fouling a little too hard, they will talk to you early in the game, and they'll talk to the coaches because they're trying to get control of the game. They're trying to get emotional control of the game. If you don't do that, I'm telling you, things get worse throughout that game. So for the referees to allow those type of hits and those penalties penalties or non-penalties to happen and not do anything about them is dangerous to me, and it makes the game dangerous. And if you watch the game, Kansas played dangerous. Kansas played very rough. Kansas played without rules or regulations, or they played without worrying about a flag. Now I watched the game again today, and you can see that they played totally different from the way Colorado was playing. We can't call everything aggression. It's playing hard and aggression. No, sometimes it's over aggression to the point that you're breaking the rules because you know you're not going to get called for a penalty. You're not going to get a flag, etc. So those are some of the things that the refs have got to get control of. That's why I'm sure a lot of you hear it. They say you got to get control of the game early, and that's what they mean when they say that the refs need to get control of the games early. And then those type of referees, if you ask me, I would not. If I was Colorado, I would not want them refing us again in our games because it's dangerous. And I think those referees should be evaluated, and we should know what happened to referees like that when it does happen. They can't just have a terrible game like that and just leave. I'm not talking about some missed calls that anybody could miss. This was an open field. I don't even want to say tackle, illegal hit. It was after the ball was thrown. There was nobody around. There was no reason for him to dive at his knees. There was no reason for him to even hit him. That's what I'm talking. I'm not just talking about some plays that are just missed because referees are human, and I'm not oblivious to that. But I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. The fourth and fifth thing is important to me. The fourth thing is teammate reaction. I did not see anybody go crazy after the hit. Yeah, they went over to Shedeur and looked at him and tried to pull him up. I don't know why they try to pull people up when they're hurt. But nobody ran over to Dean Miller. Nobody ran over and pushed him, grabbed his face mask, or got into an altercation with him. To me, they didn't do anything because the same thing that happened to Travis last year. When Travis got hurt, only one person ran over to him. One of the few people who defended Travis when he got hurt was Shedeur. And Shedeur, as the quarterback, ran from midfield all the way down to where Travis was and got into the face of the safety that hit Travis. And I did a video on that, and I talked about that. But for Shedeur to have that happen to him and nobody retaliate for him really bothered me. And I don't like things like that. I believe that sometimes you have to meet force with force, especially if that's your so-called teammate, and you have to defend him, especially when he's your quarterback. You have to defend him, even if you get the penalty. You have to defend him, even if you come at the next play and give that guy the same hit he just gave your quarterback, and you get kicked out of the game. That's just part of it. That's what you do. But somebody should have retaliated against that guy, against Dean Miller, whether you got a penalty or not. You got to throw that out. You got to say, Coach, I'm taking one from a quarterback. After they kick you out or whatever, at the least you get a 15 yard penalty. But what is a penalty? You know what I'm saying? To something like that. So teammate reaction I didn't like, and I did not like Coach Prime reaction. I want you to listen to this. And this is from DNVR Sports, so I want to give them the credit for it. But listen. Coach reached out to me as well as the young man, and he and Shedeur are going to talk because he's going to apologize and Shedeur is going to accept it. I know that because Shedeur is not upset with that. So let's not make a big deal out of something that transpired in the heat of the battle. I know how it looked. I know how it seemed, but the guy's trying to make a play. He's playing ball. But they will communicate with one another. So it's no hard feelings. Did they reach out to you on that? Okay. I have a big problem with that coming from a coach. And it being your son, but that's your quarterback. What are you apologizing for? It wasn't an accident. It wasn't accidental. He did not accidentally fall into you. He didn't trip over somebody else and fall into your legs. He intentionally tried to take him out. And I just mentioned everything that he could have done that could have hurt Shedeur. And I want to say this: it's not just Shedeur. This is for everybody when plays like this happen. We talk about Shedeur and them a lot because they get most of the attention, and most of us on this channel, we all watch Colorado football. But you can attribute these things that I'm saying to game itself and other players who do things like this. And I don't want my coach saying, hey, the coach didn't want to call you and apologize. Apologize for what? He did it on purpose. Like, don't punch me in the face and then call me later, hey, man, my fault. Man, I'm like, man, you don't knock me out. You don't knock two of my teeth out. And now you calling to apologize? No, it's unacceptable. Coach Prime has a lot of sayings, positive sayings, and it's all good. But, man, this is football. Sometimes you have to step outside of yourself, and it's not okay to do what they did. hit, and I would not want my head coach defending him. I would not want my head coach calling me to the office saying, "Hey, man, Dean Miller and his coach want to talk to you." No, there's nothing to talk about, man. The guy intentionally tried to take me out. He did the same thing with Travis last year, and they just forgave. I forgot the kid's name from Colorado State, who hurt it was his spleen. He split his spleen or his liver, whatever the case may be. I just can't come up to you when you purposely do something to me and say yes, okay. I may let bygones be bygones. I may not talk to the press about it. I may not talk to your media about it. I may not go online and talk to my on my social media, my YouTube page about it. If I'm Travis, but I just cannot accept that. And I do not like, and I'm a Coach Prime fan, don't get it twisted. Does not mean, this is why I'm Sports Truth, does not mean I like everything he says or does, of course, but this is not the time for me to be accepting apologies and then you telling them before I even get involved, hey, he's going to accept it because he's not mad about things like that. Nah, Dad, I don't accept this. That was blatant, man. He couldn't even, some illegal plays you can fit into the confines of the game if you're smart. Like, put it basketball wise, if you want to foul somebody, what you do is, they're going to pump fake you, right? So you let them pump fake you, you jump up in the air, and then you come down with your elbows on their head, and what you did. That's a terrible, rough foul, but you tried to do it within the confines of the game. If you watched the Kansas game last night when they was playing Duke, their center kicked the opposing player from Duke in the face on the floor. Immediately, I knew what he did it on purpose. Of course, the announcers, you can't tell if he did it on purpose. You have to really look at it. No, he did it on purpose, but he tried to do it within the confines of the game. This hit that Shedeur took was not within the confines of the game. I would not accept an apology. I would not want him to talk to me. Like 45, like, what do you want to say to me, Dean Miller? What you mean you sorry? You tried your best not just to knock me out of the game, but you're 6'5", 230, right into my knees and ankles, unprovoked for no reason, and you want me to accept your apology. You tried to take me out. And I'm going to be a top pick in the draft, and you would hurt me more than just for the game. You could have really affected my career, my college career, my professional career, and the ball was gone, and it was intentional. So that's how I feel about that hit. I look forward to listening to some of the comments.